guys, this is Derek here, Equinox WRX, and today we're going to be reviewing my 2015 WRX Premium 6-speed manual transmission. So I've had the car for about 6 months now, give or take, and the odometer is showing 11,500 miles roughly. I've put the car through a lot of different scenarios in that time, from road trips. I've taken it off road several times, and it just snowed this week, so it's been in the snow and it's been in the ice, and I daily drive the car, so I have a pretty good understanding of the things that I like. And there's some kind of nitpicky things and a couple of annoying things that I really wish weren't issues with the car, but I just kind of deal with. So let's go ahead and start with the good. Obviously, it's a really fun car to drive. This is my first boosted car, and I still remember the day I drove it at the dealership, and the stock tune got you into boost really fast, and it was really easy to sell the car the way Subaru had it tuned, because it just hits you right in the face, like around 2,000, 2,500 RPM, you're just into pretty heavy boost, and it was a lot of fun. I've since had the car tuned, but that's for another video. But it's a lot of fun to drive. It has ample power stock. It can make plenty more power with just bolt-ons and stuff like that, so that's obviously one of the major pluses for the car. Huge aftermarket and really good ability to make power and to put it down to the road with a really good all-wheel drive system. It's a really capable car. It's capable of going and driving really well in the snow. It does well in the summer and the hot heat. It did exceptional on a road trip. I just took it on a road trip that was 300-400 mile round trip, and we averaged like 30 miles to the gallon, keeping the revs up, going faster than we probably should have been going on the freeway. So it was comfortable. The gas mileage was great. Overall, the car has been awesome. I have no buyer's remorse whatsoever, and it's just been fun, and I really look forward to having the car for years to come, to modifying it, and just continue enjoying it day to day. And I do enjoy it every day I drive it and I get into it. It makes me smile, and every time I get out of the car, I still look back at it. So I think that's a good indicator that I made the right decision when I bought the car. You turn around, you can't stop looking at it. You kind of look like an idiot, but at the same time, it's nice. It's a nice feeling. So let's talk about the transmission for a little bit, because I know there's a lot of kind of mixed feelings that people have about that. It was a little bit sloppy when I got it from the dealership. It has the STI short throw, but there was a little bit of yaw from left to right in it, and it kind of got annoying. I fixed that with a pair and shifter stop and a brass shifter bushing. It's nice and tight, and it is notchy, which some people don't like, but I do. It gives me a good idea what gear I'm in and when, and I like the really mechanical, feel, what gear you're in, and it's just, I like the notchiness personally. I guess that's all there is to really say about that. You either like it or you don't, I guess. So transmission's been good. Maintenance is super easy on the car. I've been doing my own maintenance. I could go to the dealership and get free oil changes and what have you, but I've been, so protective of the car, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with that feeling. So I haven't wanted to drop it off at the dealership, and I've just kind of been doing my oil changes every 3,500 miles, 4,000 miles with synthetic. And I've been doing all my own fluids and all that stuff, checking the pads, just doing it myself. So the maintenance is really easy on the car because everything is right on top of the engine bay, which is a huge, huge step forward over like previous generations. My girlfriend drives a Blaubai 2004 WRX, and we changed the oil on that, and you got to get under it to remove the oil filter, and it's just a huge pain in the butt. You got to remove some couple pieces of trim on the bottom or skid plate covers and stuff like that, and it was kind of a pain. But everything right in this car is right on top, so it's super easy, and it takes me like 10 minutes to change the oil. It's nothing. So yeah, maintenance has been good. We'll talk about reliability. I've had no issues. Like, the engine's never given me problems. There are some minor clutch things that we'll get into when we talk about the cons, but overall the transmission's been good. It's never left me hanging, never left me stranded on the side of the road. In the 11,500 miles I've had it, and I drive it pretty spiritedly. I drive it hard sometimes. It's a fun car to go, hit a canyon road hard with and get in some corners and stuff like that, and I enjoy doing that. So I certainly don't baby the car in terms of my driving and what I do with it. So it's been holding up really good to spirited driving. So the other big thing that you hear about with all Subarus, not just the WRX or the STI, is the community. And there's a huge Subaru community here where we are on the Northwest. Everybody gives you the Subi wave. Not everybody, but most people do. And that was something that was really cool because this is my first Subaru and I had no idea how tight-knit the group of people and the enthusiasts were around here. And everywhere you go, you get Subi waves and you get people complimenting your car, and you'll catch people like staring at your car at stoplights and stuff, and you can't help but smirk. I go to the gym, park, and then people, are you the guy that drives the blue 15 WRX? I'm like, yeah, and you can you make friends, you know, like you meet a lot of people you wouldn't have otherwise, and that's really cool and a fun part of it. That honestly, like really was unexpected and makes me want to stick with Subaru just because the community is so much more tight-knit than anything else I've ever heard of. I mean, I don't hear from, guys driving BMWs or Ford guys getting that type of thing. I think it's really a unique thing to the Subaru community because we're all just so enthusiastic about the cars and we love them so much, which is awesome, of course. So we talked about maintenance, just going back to fuel economy. It's really easy if you stay at a boost, to get up to 30 miles to the gallon in the car. It's totally willing and capable of doing that if you keep your foot out of it. I like to drive it and have a little more fun, so usually probably per tank I'm probably closer to honestly 22 miles to the gallon or so city driving around. Although I do a fair amount of freeway commuting. I probably go 10 miles each way on the freeway to work every day, so but I'm sure even if you get into it, you can still average 20 miles to the gallon on the car, which is pretty good. So yeah, overall I love the car. I have some nitpicky things for the cons that I can tell you guys about that I've kind of noticed over the 6 months of ownership. And the first one's probably the biggest one that is kind of upsetting to me because Subaru knows it's a problem and they refuse to fix it, and that is the intermittent clutch chatter issues that you have with it. And this is a known issue. There's been a couple of documented failures for the 2015, 2016 Subaru clutches. And it has to do with the throwout bearing doesn't have a retainer clip over it, so it's free to slide about on the clutch shaft. Forgive me if the terminology isn't correct, but you get the idea. That bearing can slide around and it ends up rubbing up against the bell housing, I believe, or it's rubbing on some other part in there, and it eventually will deteriorate the bearing and cause it to fail at some point. So at some point the clutch will more than likely go out. And I guess it's been a problem that's caused a couple of failures that have been, again, documented. And this has been something Subaru has done as kind of just a manufacturing shortcut on the WRX, I think since 2006. And I'm not sure whether or not I'd be able to get that covered under warranty. I would sure hope so, but I could easily see them wanting to, be slimy with me about that. Thankfully, I haven't had to go in for any warranty work yet, and I hope I don't have to. So hopefully the clutch holds up until I can get a new one at some point when I, get a little more power of the car. So moving on, the other thing that's kind of a general Subaru thing, as I understand it, is the road noise is pretty bad. Especially at like freeway speeds, you get a ton of like hum coming up through the bottom of the chassis. I replaced the door speakers, both the front and the back, and there was no acoustic insulation, no treatment or anything like that, which is to be expected. For a $30,000 performance car, they're probably not going to go all out with the isolation and the acoustic treatment, which is fine because that's something I can do later. But it is noisy. And along the topic of noise, there's a bunch of different little trim pieces that rattle. Like in the doors, there's these little tabs that cover screws to take off the panels. And ever since I've popped those open to remove those screws, it's never been the same, and I get a good amount of buzzing from it. And then also on the tweeter grills, those buzz a bunch. And I've also started hearing, as of a couple weeks ago, the big plastic trim piece that goes over the back behind the seats is starting to buzz. So it's just a Subaru thing, and I've kind of accepted it for what it is. And it doesn't bother me so much. I'll have passengers in here sometimes that do you hear that? I'm like, no, I don't. I just get so used to it, so not a big deal. And also, one more thing, all the problems are pretty much to do with noise. I don't know if you can hear it for really quiet. Probably not, but the HVAC fan, it's like the intake fan that pulls in the air for the ventilation system, but it's really noisy. And I almost thought something was broke when I first got the car and I was using it. Like I posted on Naziak and I posted on a local Subaru forum, and they said, no, the HVAC systems in Subarus are notorious for being noisy. And I've had no issues with it. It works fine. And it's just a little noisy and kind of obnoxious, but again, you get used to it. So on the topic of the HVAC system, heating, cooling, and all that stuff, I think the automatic climate control is pretty annoying, and it's not accurate at all. I mean, I'll have it set to like maintain 75 degrees in the car, and it'll be like 32 degrees outside, and the AC will come on just completely arbitrarily. I'm like, it blows my mind why it would do that. It's so inaccurate. And yeah, it's just kind of annoying. I almost wish it was just a completely manual system. You can't override if you take it out of auto mode, but it defaults to the auto mode. So it's just kind of a nitpicky, annoying thing I wish Subaru didn't do. But you know, again, not a huge issue. So yeah, I mean, you can see there's just a couple of like really nitpicky things. The only big issue I've had that I'm kind of concerned about down the road was the clutch going out on me, which I sure hope doesn't happen. I'm not too hard on the clutch. I very, very rarely launch the car, and I don't launch the car hard when I do. I try and slip the clutch a little bit, so I don't think it should be an issue. And again, it'll be something that I do ultimately upgrade when the car starts making more power, whenever that may be. So I've got tons of plans for the car, and I want to keep you guys posted with some videos and stuff as I put parts on. I have a couple of aftermarket parts right now, including springs, some OEM dress-up parts, like I've got the ring guards, I've got the OEM Vortex generator, I've got like a license plate locate, delete. I do have some new wheels, some TSW Nürburgring. I believe they're 18 by 9.5s, rotary forged, they're cool wheels. Then I've got just an access port. I did get the car tuned by Brentune in New York, which has been awesome. I'll review that too. So there's just a couple of things there, and like the shifter stuff that I can review if you guys want to hear about it. Because there's been a good amount of mileage on most of that. I haven't done a lot to the car in a while. Christmas is coming up though, and my birthday is, so hopefully, crossing my fingers, we get some car parts to review for you guys and stuff. And you know, since this is my first video, I can kind of talk about what I'm trying to do with the channel for you guys. You know, I'm a newer car enthusiast, so I'm really coming in here and kind of trying to show you guys some things that I'm learning, and it, you know, review some other cars of some friends and have them talk about their cars, and kind of, you know, hopefully get some other new enthusiasts in on the channel too, and you guys can kind of learn along with me, because I'm by no means knowledgeable. I've been a car guy for about 6 months, but it's been awesome, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and it's just so much fun. So I'm really excited to get some content out there and learn more and kind of show you guys some of the things I'm finding and some of the cool cars and people I've met. So we'll have some good review content coming up. We'll have some cool interviews. I'll show you guys some of the cool cars around here. There's a ton of Evos. We've got some Supras in the valley. We've got a couple of GTRs. You know, there's some Porsches around here. There's tons of domestic muscle cars. There's so much cool stuff, and I love it all. I really do. I'm super open to cars. I think, you know, if you're passionate about a build or a certain type of car, that's great. And I hope to get like a wide variety of cars on here. So if you guys are into that and you want to see some more cool content, I promise to have some more coming out. I'm going to try and do one video a week, so it should be pretty fun. So overall, the car has been awesome, and again, I don't regret buying it at all, and I'm really looking forward to the future of modifying it some more, and you know, eventually even taking it over to do some autocross. That's kind of my next move with it. You know, I've got the lowering springs on there, I've got it tuned. Hopefully I have you know, some bolt-ons with like the downpipe, maybe a 3-port boost controller, and I'll go out there and I'll do some autocrossing next spring when the SCCA events open up again. I'll be terrible, so I'll probably put the GoPro in and you guys can get a good laugh at it, but it'll be fun, and I've got a bunch of buddies that can kind of show me the ropes. I'll do some ride-alongs and kind of get a feel for it before I just jump in completely, make a fool of myself. So yeah, guys, overall great car. I'd highly recommend it. You probably won't regret it, you know. I guess it's not for everybody, but I sure as hell love the car, and I don't regret it one bit. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll have more content coming out really soon. Please subscribe if you like what you saw. This is Derek, Equinox WRX, signing off. I'll see you guys soon.